Hey everyone, and welcome to an episode of Living the Journey. I'm Jenna Cuellar Harris.
And I'm CJ Sanchez.
And we're back with Steve Martinez, P.A.C. Functional Medicine Specialist.
Yes.
Today we're going to be talking about optimal health through natural therapies. Steve is going to share some information with us about hormone health and how we can optimize our hormone health through natural therapies. So, let's get into it.
All right, let's talk. So when we talk about optimization, what we feel and the way we practice is good is the enemy of great. Okay, we want people to feel great. And I think that's what we want too. We don't want just to be surviving in life. We want to thrive, right? But how we get there is different for each person. Mm-hmm. And so going back to listening to each individual story, and then we feel that in order to practice medicine in my opinion, the way we should is to take our time. Yeah. Never to rush anybody out the door, have them sit down, share who they are, what they've been experiencing, for how long, what they tried, what they haven't tried, what worked, what hasn't worked, and then we work together as a team to put together some awesome routines. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we discuss hormones because hormones are amazing if they're balanced. Yeah. If they're not balanced, they could be our worst enemy. Yeah. And like I said, everyone's journey is different. So when we talk about hormones, we talk about health optimization, we have to look at and discover something called the root cause. If we have symptoms, something is causing those symptoms, we have to get down to the system that may not be functioning to optimal levels. It might be normal, right, and you might be told that they're normal. But what does normal really mean? Right. Does normal mean that you won't have any symptoms? That's usually not the case. So we talk about hormones. So we all have them. You know, they're signaling molecules that we have at a very, very young age. But as we age, or if we experience trauma, or have a surgery, or any type of traumatic experience that could impact our hormones, then things start to change. Okay. So
can we stop right there?
Yeah.
What are some traumatic experiences that you're talking about?
Right, great question. So when we talk about if you're little and you have a lot of stress growing up, mm-hmm. Or if you get in a car wreck, mm-hmm. or if you have, a hysterectomy at a young age, mm-hmm. or these types of things, or any type of accident or energy, or even psychological trauma,
wow.
Emotional trauma, right. Things that we may not be able to see or touch, that is in our mind, in our heart, in our soul, can really change us wow. in a physical way.
It's all connected.
An imbalance.
It is. So that's where we get into like listening to each individual story, because that story tells that part that we need to understand what is going on. So hormones are very important. We talk about testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, your thyroid, cortisol, these types of common hormones that we might be familiar with. And when you think about hormones as a symphony. Yeah. Everybody has to be playing at the right time, the right tune, the right instrument. So the music has to sound good when we talk about hormones. And a lot of times that music is off. It's not sounding too good.
Yeah. I'm not going to buy that album.
Yeah, not going to buy that album. Yeah, exactly. So we want to balance them, and everyone is different. And as we age, things change. So that's why a lot of times we feel a certain way as we age. Yeah. And things start declining, and we start experiencing something called sarcopenia. Now, sarcopenia is a term that's used that when things just start to crumble. Oh, wow. Yeah, your mood, your memory, your body, your muscles, you start gaining weight, your vitality, your energy, blah, 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 all kinds of different things. And so things just start kind of crumbling in. So when that happens, as we age, we got to ask why. What is changing? Because if I feel this way now and I didn't feel this way 10, 15, 20, 35, 40 years ago, what has changed? Well, a lot of things have changed, but hormones is always in there somewhere. And so when we talk about optimization, there's different ways to do that. In a natural way, a clean, bioidentical way, or a synthetic way. And so that's what we practice, the natural therapies to help, to help strengthen your cells to create something called cellular efficiency. When our cells are happy, we're happy. When our cells are healthy, we're healthy. And so that's what we get. We're really trying to get down to the root cause and set a foundation where we can build on for each individual's health and wellness journey, we got to talk about cells, and hormones are extremely important to help strengthen and help our cells function in the correct way.
And do you
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And how what if we are not extremely sure if all the instruments are in tune? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you'll feel it.
Okay.
You'll feel it. You'll start saying, man, it's like I'm just more tired than usual. Gosh, I can't think. I have mental fog. Or you look in the mirror, man, I'm losing my hair. What's going
But I
on
feel
here?
like everyone thinks, like, as they're getting older, that's natural, that's normal.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just
how do
getting
we
older.
differentiate
Like, it's okay.
between...
That is, and that's what we accept in society. Oh, you know what? You're 60 now. So if you're tired, if you have no energy, if you lost all your muscle mass, you have low libido, erectile dysfunction, hot flashes, night sweats, that's normal.
Like, well, it's because you're 60.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
You gotta hang up the heels.
Exactly.
And you see that, like, people will, it's like, oh, I'm 60 or I'm 65 or whatever the case is, just like, oh yeah, like, ¿qué le hacemos? You know, ahí vamos. Well, no.
So you're saying false.
False, because it's all about that concept, and I'm writing a book on it called Age versus Energy. It's like as we age, we can't stop aging, but we don't need to feel old. Okay,
Mom.
If we know,
That's not nice.
Yeah,
Totally
I know. And we'll cut that part out.
No.
So, but if we know what we're doing, and that's the whole point. As far as like, I think in society we just accept it. I mean, I'm 60 now, I'm 70 now, I'm 80 now. My life's over. Well, no, it's not.
Yeah.
You have so much to improve on, and a lot of times the symptoms that we see in society when we get older, anxiety or depression, diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol issues, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, these types of things, guess what?
They're all
Hormones. A lot. So if we're looking to optimize, it's like we're not looking to play sick care, we want health care. And so if we get ahead of the game, if we're proactive and not just reactive, okay, now I'm sick, we'll do something. Well, a lot of times it's too late now. We have damage. If we have something that's not working too well, like your engine's just not firing right away, but the engine hasn't blown up on us, well, there's something we can do about it. But once it blows up, boy, it's tough.
What are the first signs that you should start looking into
Absolutely.
Hormone health?
Great question. So a lot of times it's just like fatigue, pain, joint pain, insomnia. For girls, irregular menstrual cycles, like especially heavy bleeding, irregular, very painful. If they have cravings, if they're very emotional, especially a week before. Because that could lead us to a situation called estrogen dominance, when estrogen is dominant over progesterone, and you need optimal levels of progesterone during the last part of your cycle, the luteal phase of your cycle. If you don't,
we learned about this.
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Video.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't have that balance, you have symptoms. The fatigue, the bloating, the mental fog, the irritability, maybe the night sweats, the hot flashes.
Everyone thinks like all women
That's
think
normal.
this is normal, and
but why?
not.
Exactly. So we got to ask that question why. If we're not asking that question why, then it's kind of like we're just kind of either one, just kind of covering up with medications that will take away the symptoms, or we're just accepting it. Oh, nothing I can do about it.
Wow.
Nothing I do. So, and it all leads to that because that estrogen dominance causes more stress. Then we have high cortisol levels. Then we have high cortisol levels. We're in the fight or flight mode. Fight or flight mode will take care of our testosterone, knock our testosterone, right? Because cortisol is a catabolic hormone and testosterone is an anabolic hormone. So it creates this triad and this complex of just domino effect that goes knocking things down. And our bodies are resilient.
Right.
It will put up for a while, but after a while, it's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
You're
So-
talking about, and then my wheels are spinning because I'm thinking about like for myself, and like you said earlier, I was joking about the mom thing, but you have these conversations with people. My parents, they're very. I still consider them very active.
Yeah.
And I think they can be more active. Like, and I mean that in a positive way because I think they look good for their age. I think
Sure.
that they themselves will feel certain things sometimes. And I don't know if your parents express it.
same.
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of just like they say. And I hear it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's because you're in your 60s. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's supposed to be normal, but you're good. Like
Right.
you're doing what you need to do. If not, you're gonna go to the doctor, right? 'Cause
Right.
That
Right.
my thought process or the previous, the way you're programmed to think.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's supposed to go. But how I guess even for somebody even at our age, when in your 30s, when you're thinking like, man, my hair's my hair's not as thick as it used to be, or I'm noticing more come out in the shower, or and like sometimes it used to be easier to get up early, go
the vitality, energy.
Yeah. It's just like, man, I was good Thursday. Monday is not good.
So you're noticing things a little changing here and there, and like I said, the reasons why the reason why someone might feel that is different for each person.
Yeah.
So it's all about listening to them. So if someone has fatigue, say hair issues, mental fog, and then they also have other things like digestion issues, insomnia, joint pain. Okay, well then let's combine those two worlds, because things that you notice up front, and then things that, hey, I haven't thought about too much, but I ask those questions to kind of dig it out, boom, then we have that connection, and then we know where to go.
So is that the place to start if you have several of those symptoms, the digestion, the insomnia? Do you address that system first, the hormone system?
Yes and no. I go to the gut first.
Gut
The gut. Everything is like I call it the gut everything connection. Everything is connected to the gut.
And no matter what age, no matter
that.
what hormone issue, no matter
exactly, because the gut hormone connection, the gut thyroid connection, the gut mood connection, the gut hair connection, the gut skin connection, the gut energy connection, the gut sleep connection. So all these different things, it starts with the gut. So our gut is like an amazing ecosystem, and they even say like the gut is the second brain. There's new studies out now that saying the gut is actually the first brain.
I read that before.
So yeah,
evolution led to the cranial brain.
Yeah, like there.
So,
am I making this up? Or I remember like that Evelyn touched on something like that when we were talking
Possibly,
about
yeah.
like the gut, like a lot of
And there's a
Sounds
huge
so true.
connection, because think about it. It's like, say we're nervous, about something, and say our gut was fine. Hey, I'm feeling good, and then I gotta go give a presentation, or we get nervous or something, or we're doing an interview. I'm really nervous here. And then we get what in our stomach? Butterflies, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, well, my gut was just feeling fine, but it's the connection from the brain to the gut.
And vice versa.
Exactly. So if we have a lot of stress growing up, or we have loss of job, breakup, or whatever, and we have a lot of stress, emotional, psychological stress, well, guess
Anxiety.
what? Anxiety, stress, guess what? It's going to go right to the gut, or vice versa. And then now your gut, now you're in the fight or flight mode because you're stressed, right? So when you're in this fight or flight mode, what you're doing is your body's participating in the sympathetic system. Okay, it's like the reaction system. So it can't participate in the parasympathetic system, which is called the rest and digest. That's why when you're stressed, you have a hard time sleeping at night, and your bowels get locked up, because it's like zoop, everything is just locked up, because your body is designed to save itself. So when it feels threatened, it goes into survival mode, and it's going to ignore things when it comes to procreation and relaxation and sleep, because you can't think about sleeping when you're stressed, because you're fighting the stress, trying to knock it out so it goes away.
Body's like priorities.
Or you're flighting from it. Or you're flighting from it. You're running away from it. So you're always in this constant motion of, I gotta get away. So it's going to sacrifice other areas. The sex hormones, so you can procreate, the sleep, the digest, because you can't think about having a bowel movement when you're under a lot of stress. So your body's like, hey, we got to get rid of this first, and then we can relax. But how often are we stressed? And that's
when
why.
Are we not?
Yeah,
Let's start
exactly.
there.
That's a better.
Exactly, and then people. That's why people have. And like I said, I'm kind of generalizing here, but I mean, a lot of times people have these issues, and they're not thinking about the connections that we got to make. And that's why we take our time during each consultation, so we can learn the story.
So what can we do? Can they do to, like, if we're not going to be patients right away, but we want to start addressing our hormone health on our own at home, doing some things.
Exactly.
What can we do?
It's going to start with food and exercise, the foundational pieces. I mean, food can be our medicine. I'm sure we all heard that. Let food be that medicine, right?
Yes,
You heard it.
I preach it.
Yeah,
Preach
exactly.
It.
Food can also be our poison.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's what we consume. What we eat is what we get out of in the production and the response and the function from our body. So diet and exercise. Surround yourself with good people. Laugh. Have a good time. Enjoy life. Right? We all have things that adversity that we got to go through. But think of adversity as opportunity. It's like, okay, this just is not going my way. This sucks. I know a lot of people had 2020 was a rough year for them, but it's like, control what you can control.
Exactly.
And
perspective.
Exactly. How we look at it. Do I see this as something that's going to break me down and spit me out, or is it something that's going to help build me up and become stronger?
Glass half full.
Yeah, exactly. So how we look at different situations, and like I said, even if we're And think about the small victories.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay, well, I'm tired. I can't exercise. You know what? Walk for 5 minutes after work. Just walk. Or get your running shoes or walking shoes and put them by the front door.
Yeah.
Just so you have that constant reminder. Or you just like, you know, write yourself a little note and stick it up on the mirror in the morning when you look at it every day and say, you know what? And these little victories of moving in the right direction. No one's asking you to run a marathon tomorrow. I'm asking you to put on your shoes.
Yeah.
Start with your socks. You know? So
Valid tip.
And
Put your socks on.
yeah, exactly. Or, you know, like nutrition. It's like, oh man, I can't have, you know, I don't like salads. I don't like this. Okay, great. Start with a shake, right?
There you go.
Start with a shake.
Yeah.
So, and get these start the journey. I mean, every journey starts with the first step. But we have to, when things get tough, because at all journeys they do get tough, remember your why. Remember why you started in the first place. And if you remember that core value, that reason, it's going to help you overcome the obstacles. And that's what we always try to encourage everybody to do.
I love that.
Awesome.
I think that it's so in tune with kind of a lot of, I look at you because of what we discussed and a lot of things that we do and a lot of things that you practice. And I think a lot of, you know, in the conversations we've had with previous guests or whatnot, that that intention for something, you know, to be, you know,
it always seems to be the common denominator is when you have a strong why, when your intention is something that's bigger than just the aesthetic or you know, just surface level. When it's really deep, that's when you really find yourself getting to the crux of some issues.
Just start. So I mean, I said everybody's journey is different, so you know, start where you need to start, but just begin. Decide to begin. And I think that's one of the hardest things to do, but that's the best thing to do, because once you start, you started, you're going.
So can you let our guests know, you know, those that want to take things to the, you know, once they start kind of probably realizing a lot of the symptoms that you've discussed right now are probably stuff they need to go look into. How can they find you? Yeah,
so like I said, we have a clinic, you know, Restore Wellness, RGV. We're also in the process of teaming up with Uptown Wellness, you know, and it's going to be Uptown Wellness Center for Functional Medicine. So me and my friend, Dr. Jose Rodriguez, we're going to be combining combining journeys together.
We love combining dreams and collaborating.
So we're in the process right now, but very easy. We're on social media. We're on, you know, Instagram, Facebook. We're working on our website right now, so stay tuned. But yeah, so it's a, you know, or call, you know, just give us a call. And like I said, everybody, you know, we want to learn. We want to make sure that people are happy and that we're a good match for everybody we serve. So if you have questions, it costs nothing to talk with me. Set up a free 15-minute consultation. I'll talk with you. I'll learn your story, and we'll just, you know, just have a chat. Just see if we're a good match. And say, hey, you know what? Let's take this to the next level. You know, and then let's get you where you want to be, from that good to great, and we can get you there.
We love that.
We'll get you there.
Love that. You make healthcare sound so.
It can be fun though.
Right?
Yeah.
It should be something that we want to look forward to. I know personally, I don't. Hearing a lot of this. Things were triggering symptoms. Things that I've complained to Jenna about. I'm already like, I think I need to look into this. Like ASAP.
Yeah.
But you know, we appreciate that, and I think that's everybody kind of needs that starting point to kind of like click. You know, wait, maybe I need to look into this. Maybe I need to check my, you know, go get blood work. And like you said, just start. Just kind of start looking.
Just start.
I want to thank you for sharing that insight with us and for joining us today. And for those of y'all that want to get more information, please visit Steve at Restore Wellness. They're on social media. And you know, hopefully this gives you guys a little bit more insight on what to start listening to your bodies and making sure you're performing at above optimal level.
Normal.
There you go.
We want to take charge of our health. Take charge of it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye. See you next time.